Let's talk about Real Housewives of Orange County. Jihei, what did you think of this episode?
I mean, they all bring it. It's so good. I have no complaints about Orange County. I'm moving through my notes really quick so I can just give you guys a little bit better. Vicki coming back. I mean, you can't talk about that episode without Vicki coming back. And coming back to Playa del Carmen, which you can't have a Mexico trip without having Vicki there. I mean, it just seems really weird. I love the woohoo Vicki, and I know she's gonna come back. I know this is her like entrance to like get back in and get her orange back. I'm not really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I'm not a Vicki fan, but I'm not a Vicki fan as far as like her being a housewife. However, I am a Vicki fan as far as her being a woohoo, whoop it up kind of a person. I think she's great at it. I think it's wonderful. I love the vacation kind of Vicki. It's the same thing with Shannon. I love the vacation Shannon. Maybe she's having too much of a vacation right now. Sorry that's happening to her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But as far as Vicki, the return of Vicki, I mean, it's epic. It's everything. It's the moment. So like, I love that Vicki is back just to whoop it up for them and cause a little bit of, drama. It gives me a little bit of the icks, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm here for it because the needle wouldn't move if she didn't bring it up. Right. So she brought up, Jen and the cheating again and all that stuff. So she's definitely good at what she does when it comes to the housewives world. That's why she's getting that Lifetime Achievement Award, I guess. So I was here for Vicki. That was like one of my favorite parts that I think all of us were looking forward to because we saw it in the preview.
As soon as she opened up the door and I realized that like she was coming back, I was like immediately paying like twice as much attention to the episode because I mean I am like a Vicki fan. I like make no I don't hide that. I think that she's like a fantastic housewife and should never have been cut. I get that OC was in a place where it needed to like have a little bit of a shakeup, but I don't think that this was the move. And this is like she made this episode that much better.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that she seems to be there to do one thing, which is to like call out Jen's relationship that Tamara like basically asked her to do, it seems, even though Vicki doesn't fucking know these people clearly, right?
Yeah.
Like she's talking about it and somebody says something about Ryan and she's like, who's Ryan? Like she doesn't fucking know what she's talking about.
We've heard of hired guns before. She's a hired spoon.
Yeah.
She really she totally is. Oh, it's so true. Oh man. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw my post on this, but the water aerobics that they did when they sat down before they sat down to lunch, I just sat there and was just like, I was like, you're not that old. Like, why are you doing? No offense to people that are doing water aerobics by any means, but like, I'm like, you're not that old. I'm like, you may be abuelas, but like, you're not ancient. Like, you're not like insanely old. I don't know, like, not old enough to like be doing water aerobics. Like, women in Orange County do yoga, Pilates. Like, water aerobics is the last thing that they're doing unless they're like 80. And none of these women are 80, so
it's literally the last thing they're doing. Yeah.
Yes. But I think this is going a little bit viral on social media is Heather calling Emily Snuffleupagus and making it a compliment. Like, oh, honey, you're just digging your grave right now. You're just, and I don't think that she. Is she? Do you guys really think that she could fit in Beverly Hills? Because that's the rumor that's where she wants to go, hence the LA home, etc.
Yeah, I don't know. So I remember hearing that rumor that she was trying to be back on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills a long time ago, like right after she first left Orange County. And there's always been like, oh, she's gonna go there. I think even before she left, like when she was beefing with Kelly Dodd and she thought she was so much better than everyone on Orange County. I don't know. I mean, I think she's got some like transferable skills from being a housewife. I think that one of her strengths on Orange County is to give us some sort of like benchmark to measure the kind of the wealth and the status of these other women in Orange County. And I don't think that like Beverly Hills really needs that. I think, that dynamic plays out a lot more interestingly in Orange County versus like on Beverly Hills. Everyone is just like so wealthy that I think most people aren't able to kind of get a sense of like, the difference between each of the housewives. Like it's just at another level. Yeah, I think that she would be like a little bit more a little bit less valuable on Beverly Hills than she is on Orange County. So yeah, I don't know. I could see it being a mistake if she's cast on Beverly Hills, but you never know.
Well, and also those women have genuine friendships on that Beverly Hills cast. Like they actually hang out with each other, like off camera. They actually go on trips with each other. I mean, we saw Lisa Rinna, Erica Jane. They were in Paris together for however long. All of them went to her show, her current show. And speaking of that, are you guys going to BravoCon?
No, are you?
So I will be in Vegas for that weekend because I live in LA. It's a 45-minute flight.
Oh yeah.
So I will be there, but I haven't gotten a ticket yet. I'm trying. Cross your fingers. I work for the Sporting Tribune, so I'm trying to get a media credential. Like I'm pushing for that. I'm like, even if it's just one day, I want a media credential. Even if it's just Friday or Saturday, I don't care which day. I can't do it on Sunday because I'm going to go and watch football all day. But Friday and Saturday, I'm like pushing to be able to go and cover it. And if not, I'm probably just going to do some like sound bites or whatever, just around the casinos or whatever. So, and just ask Bravo fans some questions. But I will be there. I might not be actually where the panels are and stuff like that. So,
nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like, it's probably going to be a blast. There's like things about the fandom that I find are just like not the most fun part of being a Bravo fan. So I don't know, the whole reaction to how Rachel has been treated has been really put me off of the fandom a little bit. So if it's going to be a big like Scandival celebration of like taking Rachel down, then that's not really what I want to go and like take.
Yeah, people were too mean about her lunches. Those fig Newtons look good.
But really, anytime like Tom or Rachel come up online, there's still like so many people are so like upset about it, and I don't know, it's just I find it almost embarrassing that it's like you're still like that mad about this.
I agree with you. I think I actually just did an episode before with a comedian actually, Renee Gautier, and she was talking about the backlash and treatment, and she's like, I've moved on, how come everybody else hasn't moved on? Right. From the Scandival. And some of them are like, they've never watched a show before. So I get it. And like it, cause I mean, this thing was in CNN. It was on Fox News. Like it's like the amount of coverage that it got was insane to me. I'm like, wait, this was on CNN? Like I'm thinking E! News, that it eventually got on the Wall Street Journal. Like, how is this news? Like how
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I want to see Wolf Blitzer being like breaking news.
No, it was crazy when it first came out. It like spread like wildfire. So when it initially came out, obviously it's only on TMZ, it's only on E! News, it's only going to be on like the Bravo network, all that stuff. But then it branched out because you do have celebrity Bravo fans that were like going on their social media and talking about it and whatever. So news outlets were like, okay, well, this is actually something that people should care about, I guess. I don't know. So it went out, and the environment that I work in, like nobody knows about Bravo. Like, I kind of buried the lead on this, but I bet Shannon Bedore a few months ago. And by the way, sweet as pie, but she wasn't really wasted. So like, I can't judge for that. But nobody knew who she was. There was maybe like less than a handful of people that knew who she was. So these people aren't really well known everywhere other than to us rabid fans. And so for it to get on, there was articles in the Washington Post and the New York Times on this, which boggled my mind. I'm like, how are you covering this? It's so, but that being said, I was just like, if you're a day oneer and you watch Vanderpump Rules from the get-go, you're over this. You're moving on. You want to know what's going to happen next, right? You don't want, you're done looking behind. You want to keep going, and everybody else like wants to just keep talking about it because this is brand new to them. I'm one of those people. I'm like, I'm ready to see what season 11 has in store. So let's talk about that and not talk about the rest of Scandal. I'm ready to move on.
For sure. Dylan, what highlights did you have from Orange County?
The Snuffleupagus bit was good because it is really funny to try to twist that and pretend that it's somehow a compliment without explaining how it's a compliment. But also funny how nobody seems to know what Snuffleupagus is.
Right?
Right, including the producer, who's like, he's not a dinosaur. No, he's not a dinosaur. He's a fucking mammoth or a mastodon or something. He's clearly a mammal. He's not a dinosaur. He's not Sasquatch either. And I really like how Tamara, like, trying to describe Sasquatch is like the big hairy guy who runs the jungle. Like, not to be too much of a cryptid nerd, but that's not what Sasquatch is either, nor is it what Snuffleupagus is. So yeah, just really funny how nobody can correctly identify that. It's kind of gratifying but also disappointing at the same time for me to finally see them like go Jen into like getting angry and start like acting out against everybody, like talking about her relationship, because I feel like they've been trying to do that this whole season, where she's been like weirdly stoic and reticent in face of these accusations, to the point where you kind of watch the show thinking like, wait, why is she on this show? If like her like reaction to like people accusing her of things is just to kind of like not say anything, not fire back, which I think is an understandable way to react, but like not for somebody who's been cast on one of these shows. So we finally get her like because Tamara goes really hard on her, actually, like really maybe too hard. Like Tamara goes pretty hard digging into her and saying that, you know, she ruined her family. And also, by the way, your Fendi and Gucci is fake. Just going to throw that in there at the same time. Like,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So finally gets her angry, and I guess we'll see where it goes from there. But it was kind of, for me, it was like at the same time, like, oh great, finally she's gonna like really put her perspective out there, because she's gonna be pissed off, she's gonna try to defend herself. But at the same time, I kind of like was almost feeling it when she just didn't want to like get her hands dirty and didn't want to feel like I have to defend myself. Like if I don't want to defend myself, I won't. So at the same time, there was a bit of like disappointment in my reaction, being like, oh, well, they finally got you. You know, you finally walked into the trap that they've been trying to set for you and bait for you this whole time.
I see where you're coming from with that. Like, it wasn't doing anything for me, but the fact that she was strong in her resolve not to like discuss this was notable. I don't like it when, you know, housewives are not transparent, especially if they're not really bringing anything else. And I felt that way with Jen. I feel like, I don't know, I've got cats, and they have found mice before, and before they kill them, they like play with them, and that like it gets to a point where it's almost hard to watch them like torture a mouse. And this season of Orange County is starting to feel that way with Jen. Like, she's just so ill-equipped for this job that she's just a toy for all these women that are much better at this than she is. I liked how Vicki, Jen set herself up for this by deciding to play Truth or Dare or whatever. Like, maybe that was at the like producer's insistence, but you know, she's like, oh, let's play Truth or Dare. Immediately asks Vicki, like, under the pretense of like trying to get to know you, and then like bails on the question, thinking that she's going to shut down an opening for this. But Vicki, because Jen's like, okay, well, how about we let someone who knows you better ask you a question for truth, since we don't have a history. And Vicki is just like, well, I think that you and I both have a situation where there's a man who's bad for us. That's my truth.
That was really funny.
Like, not even waiting for a question, just like, oh, truth means speak my truth about your shit.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's why Vicki's a pro. That's why Vicki's such a pro.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's why she's meant for reality television. I mean, minivan, you know, like she's very much an epic housewife, and I totally understand that. I just still, I don't know. I just love the whoop it up Vicki. I'm just gonna keep emphasizing that. Like, I just love when she parties and has a great time, and like you see her in the streets at TJ, like pouring shots down people's throats. I just love that Vicki. I don't know, like every other Vicki. I just can't. Her surprising her Ryan in college. I love that scene. That was just like I wish my mom did that. My mom is insanely conservative. Like, I wish my mom came in with a 12-pack of beer and started shoveling vodka down my throat or something, like at my sorority, if I was in a sorority. You know, I love Whoop It Up Vicki. Need more of her.
Yeah. I think the editors did a really great job with this like vacation party as well, and this truth or dare conversation where, you know, Jen's only defense was like, oh, I've heard everything that everyone else has heard, unless someone's sitting on something, and then immediately cut to Tamra like giving this like side eye while like drinking, taking a sip of her drink. And and then the next morning, like waking up hungover to that I song, just like really well put together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you have that. Those guys deserve raises. I don't know how much they're getting paid, but those editors deserve raises. They make the show so much more than it probably is, especially with the footage that they're given. I think they're given a lot, right? Like these ladies are filmed for a while, yeah. So kudos to the editors. It's insane what they give.
Yeah, totally. So what do we think? Are Jen's designer clothes fake or not?
If they are, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I also don't care, but I believe that Tamra knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing: you could also rent those clothes. By the way, there's an app for that, sweetheart. So if you really did need to, if you want to keep up with the Joneses, you can. I just think it's so unnecessary because that's not what the Real Housewives of Orange County is, at least not to me. Like,
yeah, true.
We see, like, yes, Heather Dubrow sets the bar for the wealth in Orange County. But Tamra's first season, or like after she got her divorce, she was in like a 2-3 bedroom home. You know, Gina is a great example. She was in a small little, you know, a small little, what is it called, like casita, you know, with her kids. Like, we don't need the glitz and the glamour. You don't need the Fendi or the Prada or whatever. We just want to see you in this. Now Beverly Hills is a totally different.
You just need denim.
Yeah, seriously, and bad hair. Like, I'm good. Like, you can you can be you, like in Orange County. That's the beauty of this franchise, is that when we initially saw all of the ladies in season 1, like, yeah, maybe they had some designer stuff or whatever, but they all worked. They all were like, you know, this is what I'm wearing yoga pants and whatever to get to my destination. Like, they were real. And that's, I think, what people appreciated a little bit more out of this franchise. Now, again, Beverly Hills, totally different because it's Beverly Hills. Dubai, yeah, bring it. You better bring the Chanel and whatever because you're in Dubai, but you're in Orange County. If you've ever been to Orange County, stop. Like, nobody's wearing, like, normal people that live there are not wearing Gucci, Fendi, Prada, any of that stuff. They're wearing Billabong, Volcom, and they're wearing like Reef flip-flops. Like, it's not, you don't need to wear any fake stuff. Like, stop. I don't know. But I do believe Tamra. It probably is fake.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit more about Gina this episode because, like, I mean, I keep saying it, but I think that she's continuing her great season, and everyone online seems like they're shitting on her, saying that she deserves to be like demoted to friend of or kicked off. But I thought that, like, she did a really good job, you know, kind of being a little bit nebulous with how she was arranging and positioning herself in an alliance with Jen, and then, you know, immediately she kind of seemed to realize that Jen was not going to react strongly enough for her own shit, so she's like certainly not going to be, you know, going to bat for Gina, and she jumped ship. I thought that, you know, that was smart. I also really like how we've seen a few times on this season where she has like taken the opportunity when Tamra has stepped away from the group in order to try to like reshuffle the deck. And we saw that at that lunch. And as soon as like, you know, Tamra went off after Heather, you know, she was trying to like, you know, just settle things out in a way that was advantageous for us and she, or for herself. And I think that you know, I think that it's smart to do it that way openly at the table when things look favorable to you, as opposed to doing it kind of in back channel communications, because then like people aren't able to use that like that conversation like, oh, you know, Gina took me aside to talk about this, if it's happening like openly here. The only person that that information is going to have an impact on is Tamra. And you know, if she sees Tamra as like a, you know, a lost cause for her side, then I think that that is smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's an amazing shit stirrer. I mean, we saw from the very beginning of this season to currently now, right? She's very good at stirring the pot, and she knows it too. I mean, I think she said it in her confessional. She's like, I'm fully aware that I am stirring the pot, that I am whatever, but she also says it about other people as well. She's learning. She's learning a lot quicker, I think, than some other women as well. I think that, granted, she had an alliance automatically, I think, with Emily from the get-go, and then that split, right? So then she had to learn, okay, I'm going to have to tie myself to somebody. She tied herself to Heather, and then all this other stuff happens. Now that her and Emily are back, yeah, I don't believe the hype. I love Emily and Gina. I think they're great. I don't know where this hatred's coming from. I don't get it. Maybe is she just not glamorous as, you know, all these other women? Is she not giving you enough of her story? Are bad things not happening to her? I think the second that she got sober is the second that everybody's like, I'm done with her, because she's no longer drinking. Yeah. She's no longer drinking. She's no longer a shit show. So, you know, she's not getting DUI. She's being a responsible parent. Like, I guess maybe they don't deem her, I guess, as like Housewives material because of that. But I think us seeing the development and the growth of her is a great story in and of itself. At least for me, I love seeing her grow, because, you know, she's trying to get a career. Like, she has a developing story. She's not just stagnant, right? I don't know. I love Gina. I think that she should stay. That orange needs to be permanently in her hand, because she always knows what's going on too. She knows how to adapt to the game, and I think that she's been trying to adapt like constantly.
I think that's the big thing for me. Like, she's just a really good social player of the housewife game. She doesn't like, I don't think that she finds herself in a position that she can't, you know, get out of, or that is, you know, I just love watching her play the game. I do want to have some time to talk about Salt Lake City, because I think it was probably my favorite of the bunch, but there was one comment in Orange County that I just need to address. There was Jen said something about like, so your job is to busy yourself in my pain, directing that at Tamra. And yes, that is literally her job. That is like, that's what she gets her paycheck for. So, you know, maybe reread your contract there, Jen.